Did I just wink again? Anyone who's watching this on YouTube has just seen my terrible attempt at winking.
Enas keeps winking at me over the desk.
And let's get people excited because we've got in the studio with us right now, in person, our man about town.
Our man about town.
You make it sound like I'm never here in person.
Yeah, I know.
No, but you're not. You're always about
For
town.
the first time ever, he's here live in studio.
Do you not like the hype?
Yeah. No, I love the hype. Always give me hype.
Yeah, I'm a little hype machine.
Yeah.
That's what I say to people who've never seen Succession.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen Succession.
Oh.
Maybe we should do a
Maybe
little
we
swapsies.
should. Yeah, exactly. I'll watch Succession, Game of Thrones, and we can do like
Yeah.
a share notes thing.
Yeah, Succession won't take you as long though.
No. Yeah.
No. So we're going to tell you what we've got planned for this week, and we're going to be talking about Dubai Design Week as well as Diwali in the UAE and what you can get up to.
We are going to be talking about some big Ed Sheeran news here in the UAE and taking a little look about what our man about town wants us to check out and see this week.
I'm Enas Refaei,
And I'm Farah Andrews,
and you're listening to Culture Bites.
all the way from the National here in Abu Dhabi.
Did I just wink again? Anyone who's watching this on YouTube has just seen my terrible attempt at winking.
Enas keeps winking at me over the desk.
So we usually start every episode with what's caught our eye, which is why I'm winking. And this week we've got Dubai Design Week, which runs from the 7th to the 12th of November. And it's the region's largest design festival, reflecting Dubai's position at becoming a capital of design in the Middle East, which is really, really significant.
It's truth. It is the truth.
It's the truth. As somebody who lives in Abu Dhabi,
Oh, yes.
I'd like to say it's all of the UAE. But the cost of going and attending is 25 dirhams, and all proceeds to this will be going to Gaza, which I think is a really nice way of keeping arts and culture going, but also extending that hand to what's been going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good way of kind of making sure these like big events that are, they do not happen overnight, right?
No.
So they still go ahead, but they're kind of thinking about what is happening in the news and kind of making sure that they're doing some good as well. If I'm not wrong, other Dubai Design Weeks have not been paid for entry. So this is
This is the first time.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that they're asking for quite a small donation, I think, for what you're going to see. You're going to see something that's like pretty incredible. It's curated. It's pulled together. There's lots of different exhibitions coming together from a lot of different places. We've got something on like zero waste. There's a designer exhibition, like very eco-conscious. I think all of this really ties into this massive drive that we have in the country ahead of COP.
Yeah.
And I think it's really great to see, and it's nice that they're, thinking about how we're all feeling too.
Yeah, that's what. So I've bad planning from me. Hands up. I'm going down to Design Week this afternoon. So I'd love to be able to sit here and be like, these were the favorite things that I saw. But I'd be telling a fib because I'm going after this. However, I have read a lot about it because we have spoken to a lot of people about Dubai Design Week and downtown design. But primarily today we'll be chatting about Design Week because that's more for like consumers to kind of go down and check out incredible like installations and kind of sculpture work that's incredibly architecturally inspired, like very impressive pieces.
I've seen one already, which has been photographed kind of everywhere.
Oh, which one?
And it's the palm trees by the Emirati architect Abdullah Al Mullah.
So I was going to talk about him too. I spoke to him this week.
Amazing.
Because we ahead of a panel that I'm doing, and he was kind of talking about what inspired that installation, and what he said was so nice. He was kind of thinking like a lot of it is like kind of coming back to basics, and the reason why he chose palm to make that installation is kind of like a bit of a rejection of modern materiality, the fact that we almost have too many decisions to make now and there's too many options for what we're designing with. So he kind of pulled everything back to basics in an
Emirati way.
Yeah.
Which is really lovely. I mean, I growing up, we were always told, and I think this is like so profound in Muslim culture about how important dates are, palms are, and you just realise that it was the lifeline for so many people. So it should be celebrated, and just acknowledged in that way. But yeah, I'm really excited to see that piece.
Yeah,
it's big.
Yeah.
How big? Huge.
I've only seen videos of it at the moment, but yeah, very like immersive, and you can kind of go through it.
I can't wait to catch up on your Instagram after this afternoon.
It's quite a lot of pressure for me to be posting a lot.
Gotta be posting. Otherwise you weren't there. That's the rule of thumb.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah, that's
There's a lot of
apparently.
places I don't go then.
But is there anything else that we should perhaps keep our eyes open for if we're going to head down there?
I think it would be nice to kind of go down and kind of check out the way that they've incorporated a very key sustainability focus. And I was reading a conversation with the organisers where they said that it's not just about greenwashing, and it's not just about kind of making sustainability the key theme and a front and center message, but it is kind of about bringing sustainability into like the ethos of the way they're running it this year, and kind of making sure that like everything is quite like sustainably sourced, and kind of like the kind of reusing of what is being incorporated into things. So kind of going through and kind of noticing how that is a key theme throughout everything. That's what I'm going to be looking out for later. Not in kind of like a marketing teacher way, but just kind of interesting to see, because
how much plastic have you used?
Yeah, there is a lot of conversation though about this is like it's unavoidable. Like we hear it in conversations about concerts, the music industry, the event industry, of like how sustainable actually is this? How sustainable is it to like have these like massive pop-up events that then come down, even if they are like they have a very good message, which is so important, but it is the fact that they aren't just talking about it, right? It's like putting things into action, which is what I liked about this, because it is like it's more than just
Just
this
like,
is our message.
yeah, I love that. Well, if anybody wants to donate any art to me at the end of the design week, just feel free to send it over to the National. Thanks.
There should be like a bingo card of you being like, these are things that I'm willing to accept, and they are cakes and crank and free art. It's like Enas' love language.
Rugs. I also like a lot of rugs.
She likes rugs.
Yeah, rugs, lighting. But talking of lighting,
seamless.
Diwali is in the Emirates, and
it's everywhere, hun. Not just the Emirates.
It's good. I mean, it's huge. Huge celebration. It's a celebration of light, which originates in the Hindu faith, but obviously is still celebrated by many, many others, including Buddhists, Sikhs, and other. I think it transcends a lot of things of religions, as it were. So, Diwali, I grew up partially in London. Was huge. So it's when all the firecrackers go off. There's fireworks all through the night. Sometimes I'd actually climb to the top of a hill in southeast London. I say climb like I was on my hands and knees. It's a gentle walk.
You stroll up a hill.
I strolled up a hill. And then you could see the fireworks. Because unlike New Year's Eve, which starts at midnight, which means you have to stay awake, which is not what it's not very good for me or my general. Yeah, I just don't like being awake late at night.
It's not my way of life anymore.
Not my way of life. Not anymore. But Diwali actually just starts as soon as the sun goes down. So people start lighting fireworks and firecrackers and pretty candles and everything. So it would be something that I would definitely mark in my calendar to try and get to see. And it's nice that it's coming here.
Yeah. So I've lived in the UAE on and off my whole life. And so Diwali celebrations are something I remember from when I was a child, of like fireworks going down the street and the firecrackers, and they're not technically allowed, but there is we should qualify, like, if you go out and buy firecrackers, you might get in trouble. So
we are not endorsing
the
sale or buying of firecrackers.
But what we are endorsing is beautiful twinkly lights that are decorating so many houses and apartments in my neighborhood. As I'm like wandering around doing my little dog walks at night, I'm really enjoying just how like the whole area is just like twinkling and glowing, and it's so beautiful. There are parts of, I am not so Abu Dhabi literate, my apologies, but there are areas of Dubai that you can drive through, and the whole area is just like glowing. Like there is in Sakim, every year I drive past this house that's a very cubic home.
I love that.
Yeah. Very modern architecture.
Love that.
And the whole house is just covered in straight strings of light. So it literally is just, it looks like a glowing dice. It's amazing.
Oh my God, can you take a photo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
need to
I kind
see
of
that.
like make a mental note every year of being like, do like the little detour into Amsterdam and get like have a little glimpse of the house. I love it so much.
It kind of reminds me of Christmas lights as well. And I think like a lot of religions do celebrate light. I remember as a child, like there was one house that would just go all out. There's always one house. Yeah. There's always that one house. Yeah. And like sometimes I'm like, I wonder if I'll ever be a grown up. When I was a child, I'd be like, I wonder if I'd be that grown up that would be that house.
Are you the grown up?
No. No, I'm too disorganised.
When we were little, I remember one year, Mum and Dad putting lights up outside the house, and I was like, whoa.
We're that house.
We've changed in a great way. What is happening?
I imagine you do things like that, though.
I mean, I love Christmas, and you've met my boyfriend who loves Christmas.
So just a disclaimer for anybody who hasn't been to Farah's house.
Which is most of the people listening.
It already smells of cinnamon and cloves.
Well, that's because
Yeah.
the candles are available. So yeah, we do a seasonal transition of the scented candles.
So I heard it was a
And
bit of
we're
a
already
thing,
in
though.
fall.
We're already in fall. But I heard that a lot of people here do start celebrating. So I think like light and all of these things from the months. Mm-hmm. That was like an actual thing here.
That's very big in Filipino culture, is what the kind of, as soon as it's like September.
Yeah, then it's fine.
Yeah, my friend lives in Manila and she's been sending me like when she's out and about like voice notes of Mariah Carey since like September 1st.
Wow, she must make a killing from that song.
Yeah, big sales in the Philippines for 2 months ahead of everywhere else in the world, which is lovely.
Every year, I think I can sing that song. I think that's most people.
This year, I will ask you for a performance.
That's okay. We'll leave that for when I'm at your house. Not now. Not on the podcast. Sorry, guys. Maybe if there was a huge outcry that everybody wanted to hear me sing the song, then we could do
Start some kind of big campaign.
big campaign.
The fireworks and firecrackers have already started though. When we were out and about last night, I heard the big pops and I was like, yes.
Ah,
So
well,
we should
that's
have
really
about
nice.
5 days of it.
And there's also a Hindu temple that was built last year in Jebel Ali.
Yes.
So I'm sure that they'll be celebrating Diwali there.
Such big celebrations there this week.
And so now we're going to move on to the next thing that's caught our eye, which is Ed Sheeran. I need to stop winking.
Ed Sheeran has caught our eye.
Ed Sheeran is returning to the Emirates.
He is. Ed Sheeran is coming back to town. Now, here's some important minutes for your diary if you're an Ed Sheeran fan.
Really important.
By the time this has gone out, pre-sale has happened. Forget
Just give
about
up.
it. Scrap it.
Give it.
Scrap it. However, tomorrow, November the 10th, general sale. That is happening. I believe it's 10 a.m. I'm going to double check that. People, this is going to be a concert that sells out. 2 nights in January.
Where is it?
7 Stadium in Dubai. So it's about 45 minutes from like main Dubai drive. Quite far out. Worth the drive.
Worth it.
But this is going to be huge. Seating capacity at the stadium is more than 60,000.
Wow.
So that is very big numbers.
Huge.
He has played in Dubai twice before, in 2017 and 2013. Both
Quite
times.
a long time ago.
Yeah. 10 years ago, one of them.
Yeah.
Both of them sold out. For a long time, concerts in this country weren't kind of like, this is like, I've become complacent because I've lived here in the concert world, because people buy tickets like a few days before. They're like, oh, do I fancy going to see Ed Sheeran this week? Oh, yeah, I'll go. No, that doesn't work anymore.
You can't be that person.
No.
You have to be organised.
Yeah.
You have to put your Christmas lights up on time.
You have to know what you're doing on January the 19th right now. And if you're going to buy those tickets, cancel those plans or work around it.
Okay.
Is this a concert that you will want to attend?
It's in January, so it's not. You're not buying it like.
No, it's actually not that far away.
Okay.
It's quite soon.
But he's a big deal. He is a big deal. He's got such, banging tracks.
Yeah, super popular music.
Yeah. Will you be going?
Will I go? Yeah. It would be fun. It would definitely be a good night out. Are there bigger Ed Sheeran fans than me that maybe deserve the tickets more? Yeah, I would let them because I'm a giver.
That's so kind of you. But I think he's really.
Always.
I actually have got a fun Ed Sheeran story from when I was my old self. Because I once, my microphone ran out of battery the moment Ed Sheeran came up to me for an interview.
Oh, no.
And I was terrified. And the lady next to me, who was a Radio 1 reporter, just lent me her microphone. And she let me do my interview on her mic.
What a good egg.
I know, what a good egg. And he was so kind about it.
I was going to say, did he know? He seems like a very nice man.
He's very
right?
down to earth. So last on our things that have caught our eyes is the Hunger Game prequel.
Yes.
So the premiere, the little snippet.
Trailer.
Is out.
Which one of us works in multimedia? Yes, the trailer is out. And the film is out very soon, next week.
And it's a big one, isn't it? Because there's this has got a huge following from books, and now we're getting to see another film.
Did you watch the original 4 Hunger Games films?
I watched all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They so this is obviously the prequel. Mm-hmm. So it kind of sets the kind of context for how we even ended up, wrong pronoun, how they even ended up with the Hunger Games at all, kind of, and it kind of shows you the early versions of the districts, and then there are some familiar names that you'll recognize, that fans will recognize from the films, such as President Snow, but we kind of see his young character, and he's obviously in this is not a spoiler, like in the films that we've all seen, he's a bad guy, and this film kind of sets the scene for kind of how he became the villain.
I love an origin story.
Yes, the origin story.
I talk about my own origin story all the time. My brother gets really annoyed at me. He's like, "That's not an origin story," and I was like, "Yes, it is."
This is my origin story.
Jordan is my origin story.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. It's
Dubai
my fatherland.
is my origin story.
Dubai's your origin story. My children, it'll be the UAE too.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me happy.
That'll be their origin story.
Their origin story. So this is the origin story of Hunger Games. You're going to see all the characters kind of like as before. And is this the end? Do we think this is going to be the end of Hunger Games?
I mean, what's the honest answer there? If this film makes a lot of money, probs not.
Probs not.
But as far as I know, I don't think there are other books. But I've read the original Suzanne Collins series, but I have not read Ballad of Songbirds and Snooks, which is this one. So the film's out next week, and there is a lot of hype about it. So I think this is going to be a film that we hear quite a lot of conversation about, and hear quite a lot from the cast, including Rachel Ziegler, who plays the main character in this film, who is one of the people in one of the districts. Mm-hmm. She's encountering Snow, a young Snow, and so yeah.
This is great. I mean, I went to a thing recently as part of my day job, and it was about like how important cinema is actually in the UAE, because in the UAE it's still big money. Same with Saudi Arabia, and it's just like people love the cinema here. I love cinema. So
I love
it's just like
cinema.
Yeah, so it's great.
We've spoken about this before, but cinema in this country has ruined like the phenomenal seats. Even in like the kind of basic seating, you're very comfy. It's a very plush experience.
I like the portion sizes of nachos. And let's get people excited, because we've got in the studio with us right now in person our man about town, who's going to
about town.
You make it sound like I'm never here in person.
Yeah, I know.
No, but you're not. You're always about
For
town.
the first time ever, he's here live in studio.
Do you not like the hype?
Yeah. No, I love the hype. Always give me hype.
Yeah, I'm a little hype machine.
Yeah.
But you always give us the, like, what we could have missed. What is going on? What should we be seeing?
You know what's great?
Town?
Also, I like to give people a balanced thing. You don't want to go out? I have stuff for you to watch at home. You want to go out? I have stuff for you guys to do. So it's a good balance. If you're an introvert, if you're an extrovert, if you're an ambivert, that's a bit of both.
Yeah. Is that someone who doesn't know who they are?
No, ambivert is if you're an extrovert, you appear as an extrovert, but you're actually an introvert inside.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yeah. Oprah's an ambivert?
I thought they were called extroverted introverts.
That's a technical term.
Which is what I sometimes describe myself as.
You're an extrovert.
We'll talk about that later.
I feel like we're definitely going down a hole here.
Yeah, it is. So I'll take us out of the hole.
Please.
I got to go to a sneak secret peek of a really cool show coming up in
Industry
Alserkal.
buzzword.
Yeah,
What is
industry,
it?
Yeah.
Don't tell us. No, what is it?
It's a new exhibition that's opening November the 14th this week at the Third Line Gallery in Alserkal Avenue, and it's called Duality.
Ooh.
So it's two artists, Nima, who is an Iranian-American artist based in the UAE, and Jason, who is a Lebanese-Cuban artist. And both of them are friends, and they work... they create paintings based on intricate geometry and patterns. That sounds like
Do they always work together, or is it just for this exhibition?
This is a one-off. And it sounds similar, but it's not. So Nima, he creates these amazing, big sort of geometrical drawings. Did you guys ever play with those things that do the...
I love them, yeah.
Yeah. You put your pencil in a little wheel and it go around. Yeah. So it kind of has these very intricate geometrical drawings that are layered on top of each other.
Beautiful.
And then Jason recreates the beautiful patterns we see in Persian rugs and the arabesque ornamental decor, and he redoes it in these big paintings. And you think, oh, is that a rug on the wall? But you actually go up and it's paintings.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's very cool.
So very up your street, Enas. We've already spoken about how much you love rugs today.
I do love rugs.
Oh,
I love geometric patterns. So sue me.
Perfect. This is the exhibition
double.
for you. But what's really cool is that they are each doing their own body of work, and then they have one big painting that combines both their styles in one. At the end of the exhibition. So you get to see each of their sort of like pictorial language, and then you see it coming together at the end.
Is it very, very distinct, the way their kind of two styles are? Are they very distinctive?
Very, very different. Like one feels very graphic and the other feels like it's very kind of old, traditional, or ornamental Arabic, right? And you think, how are these two things going to mesh at the end?
So walking around, you very much are like, that's that artist.
Yes,
this is
100%. 100%. So I love that. And I love seeing that kind of dialogue, collaboration between artists that are so different visually, even though they're dealing with the same ideas, like pattern making and geometry and perspective. So it's really cool. And I love that they're both, from different parts of the Middle East, but also grew in the West. So you see those different influences coming in their work.
So that's where the duality comes from then.
Yes, duality. Exactly.
Angles.
And we all love shapes and patterns and graphics. So.
Yeah, I know. Look at our wall.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a shape and a pattern.
It's definitely a shape and a pattern. What else then? Something for...
So if you don't want to go out...
Yes.
Something for our introverts.
Yes, for introverts. There is a great new animated series for adults that just released last week on Netflix, and it's called The Blue-Eyed Samurai. It is about, now I didn't know about this, the Edo period in Japan and during the 17th century. Have you guys ever heard of it?
No.
So it was a period in Japan when Japan closed its borders off to the rest of the world and sort of just remained very insular for 100 years. So there were no foreigners coming in or out of Japan. Oh. And the main protagonist of the series is this warrior called Mizu. And she is a... half Japanese. So she's the last half Japanese, half European person. Yeah, because just when the doors closed, her father was in Japan and had a relationship with her mother. So she is the blue-eyed samurai, the only one. So in Japan at the time, if you were not, fully Japanese appearing, you were seen as less than human. And so she is on a quest. She's trained by this blind samurai sword. What do you call them? Creator?
Yeah. What?
Wielder. He makes the swords. What do you call that? What's that word?
Blacksmith?
This is all fiction.
Is all fiction, yeah.
We can get his job title wrong.
Yeah.
He won't complain.
He's not going to come at us.
No, he's not. He's not going to cancel us. So he's a blind sword creator, and he trains her in sword fighting and being a ninja. So the series sees her going out into Japan and trying to... get vengeance on those people who sort of made her an outcast. Now, what I like about it is that you get a little bit of history. It's animated. It has great cinematography, great music. It's very good, accessible dialogue. But also, it kind of, it reminds me a little bit of Game of Thrones in that there's so many different characters in so many different parts of Japan, and they all have their own ulterior motives. And there's this one person with one thing that they're trying to do. And you get to see the circus around them. And for those of you who are not into animation, it's not, you watch it, but you forget it's animation because it's such a great story.
Yeah. Have you finished the whole thing?
I'm about halfway through.
And
it's very good.
Classic Netflix style, is it all available?
It's all available, so you can binge over the weekend.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's so up your street. Game of Thrones, right?
No,
not
really.
It's up my street.
It's up my street as well. Yeah.
I was like, what have I said? Have I told some white lies? I watched Game of Thrones.
But you're not a hardcore fan?
No.
No.
Have I finished it? No.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay.
I have never watched an episode.
What?
I know, I'm one of those people.
it's quite beautifully strong.
Okay.
That's amazing. I envy you because you have this whole show you
That's
can
what
watch.
people say. That's what I say to people who've never seen Succession.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen Succession.
Maybe we should do a
Maybe
little
we should.
swapsies.
Yeah, exactly. I'll watch Succession, Game of Thrones, and we can do like
Yeah.
a share notes thing.
Yeah, Succession won't take you as long though.
No. Yeah.
No, probably not.
So the next thing I'll talk to you guys about is TODA. Has anyone heard of TODA?
Yes.
It's the Theater of Digital Art. It's an acronym for that, and it's in Medina Jumeirah. They have these amazing shows all the time that combine live elements and digital art. So they have 2 really cool shows coming up. The first one starts November the 16th to the 30th. It's a whole month, and it's focusing on The Wizard of Oz. Yes, we all know The Wizard of Oz, the book by L. Frank Baum. I think that's how you say his name. And of course, the original movie with Judy Garland. So they are taking the story and imagery from The Wizard of Oz and turning it into this 360 digital artwork world that you get to sit and sort of immerse yourself in all of those great, pictorial elements like the Emerald City and the flying monkeys and the red shoes. So what you call them, the red shoes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruby slippers?
Ruby slippers, that's it. So
Kicking the heels 3
yes,
times.
3 times to go home. So it has so many great visual elements that I can see just being projected in really interesting ways digitally. So that's on for a whole month.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And then for one night only on November the 16th. Oh, I think I have that date wrong. Let me double check. November the 18th, sorry. They have a special one-night performance with an internationally award-winning Armenian pianist called Gayan Asnalayan. I think I pronounced that right. And she is, have you guys ever heard of Hayao Miyazaki? You can say no, it's fine.
No, I haven't.
We're so uncultured, Farah.
Hey, is that true?
No, we're not. No, we are uncultured.
Look, there's just so much culture. It's hard to know everything.
It's hard to know
I
everything.
haven't watched Succession, so.
We have to be able to say we don't know things.
Yeah. So Hayao Miyazaki is a Japanese director and animator. People will know his work like Spirited Away.
Oh,
yes.
that's from Studio Ghibli.
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, I do know him.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. You are cultured after all.
She's back. Yay.
So she is taking 3 of his most famous films that were composed by the Japanese composer Joe Hiyashi. And they are, Laputa Castle in the Sky, My Neighbor Totoro, and I think Princess Mononoke. And so she is playing all of the music from those films. And digitally on the walls and on the screens and everywhere, there's going to be sort of artwork based on those 3 films. So for those of you who know of Studio Ghibli movies, you know how intricately detailed and beautifully hand-drawn they are. They are incredibly immersive just watching it on TV. So imagine it in sort of that digital 3D format.
Wow.
And for those of you who haven't ever seen a Hayao Miyazaki Studio Ghibli film, they're all on Netflix.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They're amazing.
Actually, My Neighbor Totoro is one of my favorite films
beautiful.
of all time.
This would probably be quite a good intro for people that aren't super familiar with it because there isn't going to be like huge storyline elements, right? It's going to be kind of going in and like immersing yourself in the illustrations and the world. So it might kind of get some people catching the bug.
Yep, inspired to watch it. And what's great about the films, and as I'm assuming this digital show, is that they're so universal. You don't have to know anything about Japan or the world. You just have to be interested in sort of animation and film and story. So
I think they're great for children. I mean, my children absolutely love the films. But what I love about My Neighbor Totoro in particular is that there's no kind of baddie. There's no like evil person. And in all of their films, there's never like an evil character. Maybe that somebody does something bad, but then it doesn't mean that they're bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really strong message for
That's a
children.
beautiful message.
yeah, it's very nuanced. And there isn't, unlike, more traditional animated films that grew up with, there isn't always a love story. Sometimes it's just a story of friendship. A boy and a girl are friends and they're on an adventure, and there isn't like a happily ever after fairy tale kind of ending. It's just friendship or relationships between family members. It's really, really sophisticated stuff, but done very simply and universally.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Are you going to go?
100% I'm going to go to both because I love The Wizard of Oz. Of course I do. And I love the novel and the book. So yeah, 100% going to go see. And I love seeing how new ways of experiencing things take old stories and redo them. I think that's so interesting and cool.
Yeah, nice. And if I remember Toda correctly, like there's like, this might change from show to show, but kind of like a kind of step area and like very big like bean bags. So you kind of kick back and it's kind of like all around you.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it really is an immersive like light movement, but it's not like a cinema. It's not
No.
like running blah 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 blah. It's just
Yeah.
like very like small and gentle. It's quite very therapeutic.
It's also a combination of going out, but sitting around and doing nothing and just watching. So you're
It
at
really
home
is the
watching.
hybrid.
It is the hybrid of the introvert and the extrovert.
Yeah. So if you're the omnivert,
Oh, ambivert.
ambivert, that's
is
the
a
place to go.
Big ambivert night out.
Well, that's it. That's all we have time for today. We promise to get you loads of interesting stories next week.
And if you like this episode, please follow and subscribe on your choice of podcasting app and tell all your friends and family. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.